So it's been about 9 months, I think, since I last made one of these open source contribution videos. And lately I've been working a lot on Mockery again. And of course, every time I remembered to do one of these videos was by the time I actually finished the pull request, the patch. But this issue, 696, I started working on it, I think 2 days ago. And all I got was I managed to reproduce the bug and figured out 2 ways how it can be fixed, 2 possible ways. So what the underlying problem is that when creating mocks for Demeter chains, and Demeter chains are the things when you call a method on a method on a method, like get offer payment, get offer, like that's a Demeter chain. And the docs, Mockery, like this whole thing, foobar, zebra, alpha, self-destruct, that's a Demeter chain. And according to this report, when using PHP 7 type hints, return type hits, then it breaks. And started working on some proof of concept code. And basically what happens, yeah, see, it breaks. Oh, and I'm using Visual Studio Code instead of Vim, trying to step out of the box a little bit. And also it's debugger integration in VS Code is better than in Vim for me, for now. So what the problem is this. So if we remove this type hint for B, everything works. If we put it back, it breaks. And the thing with Mockery is that it has 2 types of loaders for the actual generated mock object. The default one is the eval loader, which means that it will just create a string, keep it in memory, and then eval that code. But there's also a require loader, which means that it will actually write out the file to the file system and then load it, require it. And that one is really good for debugging. Just delete the so the error is in this, because now I'm using that require loader. The actual generated file is here. So this is like everything that Mockery generates. It's a mock file, implements the mock interface, and it added the function. The foo function is in there with its type hints and everything. Now, two possible things that I have in mind is one is to remove the type hint from this generated mock only in case of Demeter chains. So when Demeter chains are being generated, or because the actual P class, so the whatever class P is, so because actually it doesn't see the B class, it's sort of just based on the name of one of the methods in the chain, it creates a new mock with a made up random generated class name. And the problem is that random generated class or mock object does not extend the B class, which in case of any other, in case of regular mocks, is the case. So for example, this mock for the A class, which is the actual mocked object. So we're actually mocking A. It actually extends the A class. So the mock object. It assures that all the type hints can pass and stuff like that. So this mock is missing the extending of the B class, and that's why this type hint breaks, because the ret value, the return value here is this object, this Mockery 1 Demeter 5.3 yada yada yada. So as I said, one way is to remove this type hint in the case of Demeter chains, and the other is to use a named mock. So a named mock in Mockery is there. So it actually will rename the, you're creating a mock for a class, but it will rename that class. It will assign it a different name. And so when generating this mock, we should tell it that instead of extending this nonsense here, it should extend actually to name this class as P, and then the return type hint will pass. And actually I can show this that this will work, because when is it in mock or in Mockery? I think it's in Mockery. Yeah, so container doesn't have, but we can do self named mock, and call it P. And now, okay, wait. It should pass. It's the other way around. And then okay, now it breaks one class up the Demeter chain. See, now Demeter foo extends B, which is this one. For some reason, I have a feeling that it's going to be a lot easier to implement the removing of type hints. So I'm going to try that first and see what Dave says. And that's because in the case of renaming, actually using named mocks for Demeter chains, is that we don't get these classes are not being loaded at all. So the fix would require to see what's the method in the chain, find in what class it is, see the return type hint for that method. If it's a class, then name the mock in that class, go to the next method, see the return type hint of the previous method in the chain, and load that class, do reflection on it, see the type hint, and bubble up from there. Which sounds an awful lot of work, where we could just strip the type hint from the first method, and in the case of Demeter chains, and it will work. And I can show that it will work as well. I just need to do this mess here. So we'll leave the mocking of the Demeter method as it is, and then in definition pass. Yes. So in the meta definition pass of the generator, we just say return. Okay, if we return an empty string here, really? Declaration must be compatible. What? Okay. So that won't work. That won't work because can that be like HP declaration of be compatible with? Should be, must be 7113. It's a fatal error. I don't think it can be hacked around. Okay, so I guess the solution is to create name mocks and Damn. Damn. Oh well. Let's dig into this one then. So should be you have to start here. Self in mock. Let's the parent here. What's the parent here? Mockery. Mockery is the name. Actually, parent is the name. Then that means we can reflect parent method, see the return type hint, and then if it's a class, set it here. Otherwise, just create a regular mock, not a named one. I guess I'm not sure I can reflect on the parent here. I'm not sure if it exists yet or not, but let's try that. So come on. Samples. Fuck it. Let's try this. Yes. Parent. Class Mockery A full does not exist. Wait, did the debugger lie to me here? So yeah, the class does not exist yet. At this point. Cannot reflect on it. Okay. So it can't reflect on the parent. The method is the name of the method from which we need to get the type return type hint. Ooh, but we have the mock object in the expectation box or container. No, the name box. Box. Remember mock. Remember mock. Get class. Huh. Okay. So container fetch mock. Okay. Okay. So parent mock container fetch mock parent. And now see what parent mock is. Good. Really good. Maybe now we can reflect on it. Let's see. New reflection class parent mock. Don't blow up. Did blow up. Fuck. Is there something else I can use? Reflection object. No. But why? You didn't find anything. Why not? This marks. This is annoying. I'm not sure if I don't trust the debugger at this point because it seems like it's missing some details. Seems like it's missing some. It's yeah. This one is key. What's the key? Oh god. How did you get this? Oh, it's this. This is what I need. Mockery 0A. How come it's not there? The hell did break? No, this is okay. This is okay, but okay if parent mock, because now you do this. Otherwise, reflection object get methods. Okay, has method. Or no. Let's just write if ref has method. It doesn't have that method again, just no. That equals null. Then do this. If ref equals null, or then return regular mock. Then regular mock. If it has that method, okay, get ref method parent reflection get method reflection method get return type ref type ref method return type apparently get return nope get return type null otherwise. Okay, it's null, again return this whatever it is, but return type reflection type I have no idea what this should be at this point. So let's check it. Reflection name type. Name type. Okay. Get name. Mock. So name mock. This bunch here. And ref method get type get name. Ha. Okay, so it works for one level, but it doesn't work for second level. Let's extract this for now. a new mock name. No test broken. That's good. That's really good. But see what happens. Because now we have, okay, container. Ha, it has a different name. This new mock name. I'm thinking about popping the array from here, just getting the last, but I have no idea what all of the mocks can be inside. But this, maybe if we get that from the composite expectation, and called get mock. If we don't do this, but we do expectation get mock. So this. Haha. And return whatever. It is done. This is done. This works. This actually works. This actually works. Let's try to clean up the code. New mock is named false. Parent mock. No. And new mock is named true. If report is named and ref method type our ref method is now our ref method type is now. Let's keep the consistent naming. So this is all now. Parent mock. If it's not now reflected, if it's not, if parent reflection is not now, or if it has a method, then we should reflect the method, right? And finally, to this one. I don't like the double ifs here, but currently, come on, message bar doesn't exist. 790. Ta-da! Ta-da! I should totally write a test for this now. And add it to the suite. More out of T. Okay, this turned out easier to do than what I first had in my mind. I thought this was going to be a lot more complicated with the going back to the parent, but luckily the previous mock object is in the expectation, so we can always get it from there. Tests. Demeter chain test. Let's have files, double classes, namespace. Double classes, new file. Demeter chain test. Classes. Yada yada yada. Namespace. Demeter chain. Namespace Demeter chain. Yeah, let's just do this. And then here, public function test Demeter chains with class return type hints. And then we now say mock A, mock A, but the A is actually in namespace Demeter chain, and main is also there. We don't care about this. Let's result this SERP instance of one or the other. Say result class class. This is going to break. Ah, 196. Silly me. Yeah, has an error. I guess class Demeter chain name not found. Chain test classes. Let's test. Where's aha? Actually, okay. We require those. Fine. I'll require. I'll require. It's the other way around. Instance of track. And yay, no errors. The good thing is that in case of Demeter chains, we don't have to care if it's not a class. So if it's a primitive string, integer, whatever, array, because you cannot chain those. So if a method returns an integer, you cannot call a second method on it. So that's not a problem. This is done. This is done. Great. Excellent. So happy. Change log. Changes. Add support for return type in Demeter chains. And the pull request will be number 848. I'm probably doing this wrong, but Who cares? Status git add changelog, add a library, and tests Mockery. Okay, one white space error. In. Here it is. That's now okay. Add support for return type hints in Demeter chain. Fixes 696. Save. Git push origin 696. Let's create a pull request. Add support. Yada yada yada. Everything looks nice and clean. Create pull request. And hopefully, shit. Come on, Stacy. Let's fix up. Git push origin force release 696. And now we wait for Travis to pass. Labels has PR. But this will pass. Maybe on 5.6. Maybe it will fail on 5.6. I'm not sure about that. Let's wait it out. Yeah, this is going to break on 5.6. Damn it. It's totally going to break on 5.6. repeat version check, basically because return type hints are not at all in 5.6. So why would we do any of these calls? Is 5.6. We have some kind of version checks. Yep, all over the place. We have version checks all over the place. Orchid. I never actually did a version compare before, so let's see how this works. Compares to PHP standard version number strings. Okay. I'm at least PHP version. Breaks on PHP 7 as well. How? Why? How is it possible? Reflection type. I am now new features. Return type. Okay. Let's first add the PHP 7 version check. First order. Oh boy. Yeah. Class A public function who returns B. Class B. Reflection new reflection class A class method get method foo method foo var dump and get return type eval. Okay, 7172 returns reflection name type, 70 returns reflection type. Is built in eval false false. Everything returns false. If we say here integer, everything will return true. Okay. The it's built in. Do a string. Whatever. B. PHP. And let's cast the string. Big PHP unit. I started working on a Docker thingy for Mockery, so exactly these things can be avoided. Commit visual. Okay. Make sure name box for return type hints only on PHP 7 plus. 696. And now we wait again. But this should be good now. I don't see any. Like, really? Why are you breaking on 5-6? Ugh. How do I save PHP unit to run tests only on specific versions of PHP? I don't requires. Requires. Yes. So Demeter train test. PHP unit requires PHP version. Test using requires. Require at least require PHP 7 plus for test. And hopefully now it will work. Cool. I'm happy I solved this. I'm really happy I did. It took me what, hour and a half, sort of. Kidding me again. Because I required the entire class. Let's required. Let me Demeter chain classes only on PHP 7 plus. Come on. How many of these things will I forget? But in general, this works. So, yeah. See you next time.